If I was running the state today, पट्टा बांधकर उसको नंगा घुमाता मैं सड़क पर, पट्टा बांधकर घुमाता. Elon Musk tomorrow wants to invest with SpaceX in Maharashtra. And his top engineers from the United States have moved for the next 8-9 years in Maharashtra. Will
Did
Raj
we ask them
Thackeray
to
ji's
speak
goons?
Marathi?
No, will they beat them up? The Congress's biggest mistake was an alliance with Uddhav Shiv Sena. It was the biggest mistake. And I said this 2 years ago on various shows, those are all public. That will be the beginning of the end of the Congress. And it is unfortunate because the Congress was born in my state of Maharashtra.
The Marathi versus Hindi battle is once again raging in Maharashtra, and what began as a simple dispute over a mobile phone recharge in Thane some time ago has now turned into a full-blown Marathi versus non-Marathi row. Now, a viral video really added fuel to the fire, showing a man slapping others who are made to apologize in Marathi. Now, the incident has been, there's a lot of public outrage, and what is more, has brought political cousins and once enemies together again. I'm joined by Tehseen Poonawalla, who joins us from Pune today in Maharashtra. He's in the middle of the action. Tehseen, even 1 year ago, it would have been unthinkable to see the Thackeray brothers reuniting, but that's actually what's happening.
Thank you, Aditi. Thank you for having me on the show. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra to all your viewers. And you're
Yeah.
right. It would have been unthinkable for these two cousins to come together. But please understand, these two cousins have not come together for MM, the Marathi Manus. They've come together for PP, Pehle Parivar, Parivar Pratham. They've come together to save their politics of the Parivar. That's why they've come together. They don't care about the Marathi Manus. They split because they wanted power in the Parivar. They've come together because the Parivar has lost power. And therefore, for Parivar ka power, they've come together for PP, not for MM, not for Marathi Manus. Don't be under any illusion.
But is that the municipal? I mean, what appear? It definitely looks like they're going to be going it together in the municipal elections. The Maharashtra municipal elections are obviously one big thing as far as the politics of that state is concerned. Um, there's no announcement yet, but clearly the reason that is driving them together. What benefits do they get by doing this?
So, good question. What benefits do they get? Like I said, it's not about MM Marathi Manus, it's about PP, Parivar Power. What benefits they get? BMC itself has a budget bigger than most state governments in India.
Yeah.
Now let's ask ourselves a few basic questions, and don't believe me, ask your viewers to check. The BMC for so many decades has been run by the Thackeray family. If BMC was run so well, why don't the Thackeray's kids themselves go to BMC run schools? Why do they go to private English medium schools like Bombay Scottish, which is amongst the best schools in the country? See, I'm not against anyone's children going to good schools. I would want my son to get the best education. But why haven't you improved BMC schools? If respected Uddhavji Thackeray or Raj Thackeray ji are unwell, and I would wish them the best of health, why do they go to private hospitals? Why don't they go to BMC run hospitals? In that private hospitals, do they insist that the doctor must only speak Marathi, the doctor who treats them? See, they keep saying this is about a Marathi Manus and the Marathi
Mm.
Manus's dignity. I'm a Marathi Manus. माझं जन्मपण पुणेमध्ये झालंय. हा माझी जन्मभूमी आहे, माझं कर्मभूमी आहे. I'm a Marathi man. I was born here. This is my Janbhumi, my Karmbhumi. What is dignity for a Marathi Manus? Isn't it good healthcare, great education, timely delivery of service, not being humiliated, good quality jobs? When you vandalize a restaurant, when you vandalize some business, when you beat up the poor and the hapless people, when you shut down people's businesses, 80-90% of the people working there are the poor Marathi Manus. Think about it, Aditi. Just for 1 second, leave everything aside and think about that Gujarati old man who was beaten up. He was beaten up on camera. How much humiliation he must have suffered. What would his family have thought about? That video went viral. You hit somebody. They went to somebody's house because they put comments against Raj Thackeray ji and they started breaking the house door. The old mother was there. Imagine the fear that old mother would have gone to. Marathi is my mother. Would my mother like that somebody else's kids are beaten up? What kind of brazen behavior is this? And then Raj Thackeray ji says on a public mic that listen, you beat up people below the ear, kaan ke niche lagao, but video record mat karo. Complete brazen breaking of the Supreme Court guidelines. In my case, Tehseen Poonawalla versus Union of India, and nobody is acting against him. His goons, Vice President Javed Sheikh. Remember, Raj Thackeray ji does not have a single MP or a single MLA, and yet his goons, their kids, Rahul Sheikh, teases a woman half naked. He's half naked in a car on the streets, on a public street, and teasing a woman. She turned out to be a Marathi mulgi. पण ते सोडा ते Marathi mulgi. Leave that she's a Marathi girl. Even if she's any woman, how can you tease like this? And the offenses put against Rahil Sheikh are, no, are bailable offenses. If I was running the state today, पट्टा बांधकर उसको नंगा घुमाता मैं सड़क पर, पट्टा बांधकर घुमाता, Mumbai style. What nonsense is going on? Is this what my Mumbai saw? And I'll ask one question. Let's hypothetically assume Elon Musk tomorrow wants to invest with SpaceX in Maharashtra. And his top engineers from the United States have moved for the next 8-9 years in Maharashtra. Will
Would
Raj
we ask
Thackeray
them to
ji's
speak
goons?
Marathi?
No, will they beat them up? These filmy parties, Raj Thackeray ji goes forward, all these actors, he does Man Ki Baat and he does Charcha with all of them. Does he speak in Marathi? Why this hypocrisy on poor, hapless people?
No, violence definitely is not acceptable in any format. Tehseen, I agree with you there. But it all started with this, with the Fadnavis government making a U-turn on introducing Hindi as a third language in schools in Maharashtra. And I just want to go to the core of it. And while I understand the point that you're making about this being a political ploy, not for the Marathi Manus, but for, as you say, the Parivar, the fact remains that this is not Maharashtra is not the only state which is having this problem. There is Karnataka, there's Karnataka, there's Tamil. I mean, this whole concept of linguistic fervor. It's all right to respect your language, but why take it to the violence level?
Absolutely. Violence can never be justified, can never be accepted. Period. If you want to promote Marathi, and Marathi is my mother tongue, my first language is Marathi, then I learned English, and then I learned Hindi when I came to North India, when I moved to Delhi. So I learned Hindi. My Hindi was not proper Hindi, it was very Maharashtrian Hindi, where I would use words that you people in North India would get confused by. So nobody beat me up, right? Delhi gave me the opportunity to learn Hindi. Imagine if I would have got beaten up in Delhi, how much
You're
humiliation would
not
that be? You
speaking
cannot.
Hindi.
हाँ, मुझे हिंदी आती है और मैं हिंदी का भी सम्मान करता हूँ, वो भी मेरी माँ है। माँ हिंदी का मैं भी सम्मान करता हूँ और हिंदी में बोलना चाहिए, वार्तालाप करना चाहिए। अगर आप उत्तर भारत में तर आप हिंदी में बोलिए, जर तुम्ही महाराष्ट्रामध्ये आहात तर तुम्ही मराठीमध्ये बोला. There is no difference. These are our mother tongues and you should be comfortable. But let me ask you another question. What has the Senas, these two Senas, Maharashtra Navnirman Sena and Uddhav ji's party, done for the Marathi language? Why haven't they made Marathi schools the top class schools in the country? Why aren't Marathi teachers being people being taught Marathi, and then in other states in North India and other states where the third language option exists, good teachers go there to teach? Why isn't Marathi taken abroad? Why are Marathi theaters shutting down? Forget all of this. I'm asking you today, the Marathi Manus. I have a security guard in Mumbai. His poor father had a heart condition, 2 or 3 blockages. The BMC hospital said we can only do the operation about after 4 to 5 months. And the private hospitals are charging 4 to 5 lakhs for a heart surgery. You know the cost of this. Ultimately, what is that Marathi Manus getting? I mean, I stepped in. Luckily, I could manage it. But I'm asking you, why does a common Marathi person have to depend on me or anyone? Why isn't it his right to get the same health care, that senior citizen, as my mother would get? What have you done for the Marathi Manus? Your kids will inherit the party. Your kids will fight elections. Your kids will go to Bombay Scottish. Your kids will go to the best of parties. Your kids will hang out with film stars. And the common Karyakarta has to fight on the road?
Right, but what I really want to ask from you is about what would be your advice right now for the various people involved in this, whatever is unfolding. There is obviously, this is a battle for political relevance amongst the Marathi Manos, and frankly, between you and me, I feel somewhere, because Uddhav Thackeray is also aligned with the Congress in the previous government, and now uh, there are Bihar elections coming up. His posturing on Marathi, how do you think that's going to play out with Ally Congress, your party,
Oh,
Tehseen?
Congress, I'm a supporter of the Congress. But I've
Yeah.
always said, and I've said this to you both on record and off record, the
Hmm.
Congress's biggest mistake was an alliance with Uddhav Ji Shiv Sena. It was the biggest mistake. And I said this 2 years ago on various shows, those are all public. That will be the beginning of the end of the Congress. And it is unfortunate because the Congress was born in my state of Maharashtra. It was formed in my city of Pune. right next to my house. And from there, because the first session couldn't be held in Pune, then it was called Pune, it was moved to then Bombay, today's Mumbai, because in Pune we had the plague. So it was moved. But Congress was born here. Today, look at Congress is losing irrelevance. The entire narrative in Maharashtra has become the Thackeray brothers versus the BJP. Where is the Congress today? Which was born here, which did very well in the Lok Sabha elections.
Yeah.
It was not enough that Sanjay Rautji destroyed us in the in the assembly elections with his nonsensical gibberish that he speaks. Now, we are now faced with these cousins, and we have Bihar elections. Can you go with the cousins? What happens in Bihar? And can a national party endorse this kind of regional violence? It cannot endorse. Then what happens to the state unit? Which is why I said keep an arm's length from these cousins. I've known them. The the political party that actually finished the Congress in Western Maharashtra is not the BJP. In Western Maharashtra, it's another regional party that would destroy the Congress, that claim to work on the same principles as the Congress, the NCP. The regional parties will always want to end the Congress and will want to be in the state. So the Congress today is not in the best of position. However, there is a silver lining. Every dark cloud has a silver lining. If the Congress does the actual politics of the Marathi Manus, which is dignity, jobs, healthcare, employment, there is so much anger against the present government because most of their promises are not being fulfilled. Ladki Bain, they've had to cut down. They've had to go back on their promises. Today, bureaucrats are not signing files in Maharashtra. Today there is work is stuck. Today, contractors are not being paid on time. Development is not happening at the same pace. There is so much anger in Maharashtra against the present government. If actually one can do positive politics, one can gain in Maharashtra, especially the Congress. It was born here. But for that, you'll have to take some tough decisions. And part of it is be away from these regional parties and fight the BJP on its own. See, Devendra Fadnavis ji himself has a very good reputation. He's a good chief minister, though he's from BJP. So you'll have to have a face that takes on Fadnavis ji. You'll have to have a policy. It has to be positive development. It can't be this regional politics. I mean, the Shiv Sena UBT has people who can't speak Marathi representing them, and they're beating
Right.
up other people for. I mean, it's
You
it's
know,
it's, it's bizarre.
interestingly that you mentioned the Shiv Sena UBT because the after the Shiv Sena split, it's Team Shinde, Eknath Shinde, which managed to retain the party's name, the symbol, but its alliance with the BJP and NCP. Do you feel this is a FOMO moment with the brothers coming together on this side and the Marathi Manus because that was really Shiv Sena's identity. Do you feel this is a FOMO moment for Eknath Shinde?
No, because the Marathi Manus is with Eknath Shinde, and the Hindutva vote is with Devendra Fadnavis. Plus, he gets the middle class vote, the women vote, and the developmental vote. So there is a split in the votes. If the Marathi Manus was with Uddhavji or with Rajji, please tell me why did Rajji's son lose the assembly elections?
Absolutely.
If the Marathi Manus was voting, nobody else was voting there. Why did he lose? Even Uddhavji's son would have lost in Worli against Milind Yoraji had it not been for Rajji's candidate who split the votes. Had Raji not put up a candidate, Uddhavji's son would have lost and Milind Yora would have, and until the 12th or 13th round, Milind Yoraji was leading against Uddhavji's son. See, Bala Sahib Thackeray ji, after that the fight was about Uddhavji or Raji. Now it is about their kids. Is this some sort of a family legacy going on? This is my state of Maharashtra. How is this even accepted?
What is your advice for the Thackeray brothers at this point? You know their political compulsions. It is a fight for relevance, frankly, the way many experts are viewing it, many political analysts are viewing it. A fight for relevance for the Thackeray brothers, given the situation they are in right now, given the BMC elections round the corner, given that you say that the Marathi votes are really with Eknath Shinde, and in any case, the Hindi speaking votes go to Devendra Fadnavis. So, how what advice would you impart to the Thackeray brothers at this point in time? And I'm going to ask you your advice for the Congress.
To the Thackeray brothers, my advice would be this that whatever politics you choose to do progressive politics. This is a state that has given them everything. It gave a lot of respect to the late Bala Sahib Thackeray ji. It's given these two cousins everything. And now their kids have got everything. Can we, for once, have a vision of how Maharashtra continues to be the number one state in the country? It contributes the highest in taxes, GST, etc., etc., etc. We know all of that. Can we have a progressive vision for Maharashtra where the next 20 years, Maharashtra aligns with some of the biggest states across the world and competes with them? Rather than politics that are of the past century, politics that involve mob violence. This is uncalled for and it's not keeping in tune with today's times.
And given the upcoming Bihar elections, what and its fateful, alliance with Uddhav Thackeray, what would be your advice to the Congress party, to the High Command at this point?
My advice to the Congress party, irrespective of the BMC or the Bihar elections, is regional parties will want to finish the Congress off. Their main rivals is not the BJP, it's the Congress, and they would like to see a weak Congress. So, number one, make your organization strong. Now, I understand the organization may not be as strong in Bihar as it is in Maharashtra. It's a much stronger organization in Maharashtra, Telangana, Karnataka, etc. Please strengthen your organization. Stop giving power or making outsiders the face of your organization. That's happening across the country. Stop doing that. Third, stick to progressive centrist politics. Don't go too left, don't go too right. Stick to centrist politics. Stick to welfareism. Because most people across this great nation of ours want common things. They want good jobs, they want good healthcare, and they want a life of dignity for their future generations. That is across religion, across gender, across caste, across regions. Give that.
Hmm.
That is what the Congress had become, the national political party form. That's what Nehruji says in Tryst with Destiny: to wipe every tear from every eye, to end unemployment, and to fight diseases, and to give education to our people. That's what Nehruji says. Do that. That's just the basics that we need to focus on. Let people do what they have to do. We don't need to get into that debate. The minute you get into that debate, the only loser in that will be the Congress.
All right, I think that's some perspective, some food for thought for everyone involved in this huge Marathi versus Hindi row which is raging in Maharashtra at this point. Thank you, Tehseen, for joining us and giving us those perspectives.
Thank you.
Thank you.